Hello, and welcome to the next session in this course. This session we're going to focus on the Google Ads platform and mastering the essentials of the Google Ads platform. We're going to focus in particular on SEM, or what's known as search engine marketing. Let's get started. In this session, we're going to provide the following objectives for you. First, we're going to provide you an introduction to the essentials of Google Ads Manager and the search platform that will allow you to run effective digital marketing campaigns. So the Google Ads Manager platform is where you can buy all of the Google media. Second, we want you to understand how to structure campaigns, ad groups, keywords, and ad copies. You're going to utilize the different campaign structures, audience, and bidding features that are available on the Google platform. And last, we're going to provide you the knowledge on how to set up your own Google Ads Manager campaign. Let's get into it. Before you come to class, you should have already set up your Gmail and your Google Ads account. Hopefully you've done that. Let me know if you've got any issues in doing so. I've shared with you previously the instructions on how to do it, but let me know online if you've got any issues. All right, so let's get started with the first module concept. In this module, we're going to provide an introduction to the Google Ads platform and explain how you can buy the display network, the YouTube platform, and search platform all within the one Google Ads platform. Okay, so the first thing to understand is that through this Google Ads platform, you can buy both display ads and search ads. In fact, you can also buy YouTube and more, but we're just going to showcase this first, these two modules, the search and the display first. When we look at the search network, this includes search results from inside of the Google search, as well as many partner websites that they have that use search, Google search to power their platform. It also includes YouTube search and other sites that use the Google search bar. It also includes the display network, which is where you'll see banner ads on sites like CNN, Snook.com, and more. So search and display. The main reason that you want to invest in paid search is because the SEM marketing has the highest intent audience. Okay? They allow you to immediately come to the top of the search results without having to invest in months building up your organic presence. So it's a must to have in the media plan. All right? The display network audience, they have a completely different mindset than search audience. The display audience, as we've learned in the Essentials class, is in sort of a surfing and web discovery mode. That's the frame of mind. So this media is helpful to build brand, raise awareness, and intent. It can ultimately drive more searches for your industry and your brand. So this is the reason why we're presenting this concept first, so you understand how display works together with search. The more you spend in display media, the more people will search and the better your search results will do. In a recent study, it showed that a high percentage of people who see a display ad will end up making a search on Google search. So let's test this hypothesis in an actual case study from Audience IQ. So what we did is we ran an A/B test. And in this first period, okay, period A, we ran search with no display. Okay, so no display was running. And you can see here how the CPM and the CPA price in particular was very high during this period. Okay. In the second period, we start to run display ads. Okay, and you can see that the CPA decreased from $40 down to $20. So in this green period, So this is a great example of how display, when activated, it will reduce the cost per lead, in some cases by 50%. So display and search are critical in working together. And in this last slide, we just want to reiterate that through the Google Ads platform, you can buy everything. Not just search ads, but also display ads, YouTube, shopping ads, and Google's app install ads. One platform for everything. And this brings us to the end of this module concept. Now it's time for you to do a short activity. So again, in this module, we introduced how display and search work together. And to test your understanding of this, I want you to complete this short activity. In this module, we introduced the concept of attribution. However, we did not directly teach it, but rather showed an example of attribution between display and search. So what I want you to do is please give me your definition of attribution and what is attribution tracking. You can research it online to discover exactly what it is, and I want you to put your answer right here below. All right? So what is attribution? Please be sure to complete this assignment and upload it back into Blackboard. We'll review it in the weekly tutorial. Best of luck. All right, now let's get started with the next module concept. In this module, we're going to provide you an overview of the Google search ad structure and how to set it up for success. Let's get started. Okay, so this is the key slide. In this slide, we're going to introduce the structure of a Google ad account and a campaign. This is the first thing that you need to know because much of the performance of your media spend is dependent upon how you set up these different elements. Okay, so we're going to look at the structure, and you need to know that there's 3 levels of the Google ad campaign. Let's go through these. The highest level is the account. This is where your billing and login happen. You can set up one account per brand or company. The next level is the campaign. This is where you're going to set the following things. The objective, it could be clicks, calls, conversions, whatever you want to set your objective to be, but that's where you set the objective. This is where you also set the budget. So the budget, bidding, location, language, device, start, end date, and all the targeting. Okay, so the campaign level is where you set these types of things. Then the next level is the ad group. Similar to in Facebook, you have the ad set. This is the ad group. This is where you need to group keywords together based on their category, as well as where you set the ad copy. The ad group needs to be closely tied to the ad copy so that they fit together. And we'll show you examples of that later. And last but not least, you then have the keywords. And these keywords will sit inside of the ad groups. Typically, we group together similar keywords. So for example, master's degree, master's program, master's diploma. We'll show you more examples of this. So this is the ad structure. This is how the campaign, account, ad group, keyword, this is how it's set up. But let's look in more detail. Okay, so what I want to give you is the keys to success and how you can design your account structure. So let's go through how a structure has, and again, it's the first 2 layers, the campaign and the ad group. These are the most important. Let's look at the best way to set these up. So for the campaign, unless your account is very large, you'll typically have only a few campaigns that are surrounded around a broader theme. For example, at Stanford University, we set campaigns based on the program. So for example, MBA, undergrad, certificate course. Each campaign will contain ad groups, which contain keywords that tie to the text ads and direct to a specific landing page. Typically, I recommend deciding on campaign topics based on how you want to divide up your marketing budget, since you set your budget at the campaign level. So for example, at Audience IQ, we have both CRM and digital marketing services. We create one ad group for each. Now down to the ad group level. Under each campaign, you will create relevant ad groups, which will be much more specific. There's no recommended number of ad groups to have under a campaign, but typically it's more manageable to not go overboard, since it will stretch your campaign budget across many different ad groups. What I advise is no more than and then inside of each ad group, you have keywords. And I don't recommend that you have more than 10 to 20 keywords inside of each ad group. All right? So this is campaign and ad group best practice. All right. Now let's go into how to determine the best campaign and ad group structure. All right, these are the tips I want to give you. So the first thing you need to look at is the structure of your website. So in trying to figure out how to set this up, look at how your website's structured. Do you have different tabs or pages for your different products or offerings? Do you value different products or pages over others? If your website's well structured, which it should be, then it makes sense to structure your Google Ads account in a very similar fashion. The next thing to look at is your products and services offered. This is likely to be very similar to the structure of your website, but think about your different services or products offered and structure your account in a similar fashion. So for example, let's say you sell tennis gear. You want to create a campaign for tennis rackets, tennis balls, tennis clothing. Then under tennis racket campaign, you might create separate ad groups for the different brands that you would sell, or the gender of the tennis racket, etc. So you can see here you have tennis racket, then as the campaign level, and then ad group level, you have Wilson, Babolat. All right. And then these are the keywords underneath. You can see are related to that ad group. So Wilson will have Wilson in it, Babolat will have Babolat. And that's it. The last thing that you need to think about is the location targeting. Is location important to your business? Maybe you're a law office that has multiple locations across Asia, or perhaps you sell development courses in major cities ranging from London to Tokyo. So if location targeting is important to your business, then you should create different campaigns for different locations. All right? So these are the considerations that you need to use in setting up your campaign and ad groups. All right, so this brings us to the end of this module. And again, in this module, we showed you how to set up your account, campaign, and ad group structure. Now, what I want you to do is take a look now at the admissions.stanford.edu site. What I want you to do is come up with how would you structure campaign and ad groups. So in this spreadsheet here, which you can download, we need you to fill in all the different campaigns that you'd set up and then the ad groups. You don't have to do keywords at this point. That's the next module. Just look at the high level campaigns and ad groups. All right, so please do this activity. Download the spreadsheet, fill it in, upload it back into Blackboard, and we'll review it in the weekly Q&A. Best of luck. Module concept 3, developing the keyword list. Let's get started. So I want to start by showing the short video, and then we'll go through the tips that are in this video. Let's take a look.
Mary runs a large online shoe store that sells a variety of shoes. She created an AdWords campaign when she launched her new website. The campaign brought people to her site, but her sales haven't increased as much as she hoped. Let's see how Mary learned to use the right keywords to attract actual customers. Keywords are words or phrases that match ads with a customer's search. When Mary first opened her business, she wanted to create a buzz about her store and bring as many people to her site as possible. So, she used very general keywords like shoes, and sneakers. This worked well and her ads got lots of clicks, but she wasn't selling a lot of shoes. Here's how Mary was able to get the right people to her site and turn those clicks into customers. Tip 1. Think like a customer. First, Mary tries to imagine what her customers would search for. She writes down all the categories of shoes she sells. Then, she thinks of specific search words for each category. Doing this makes it easy for her to come up with the right keywords to attract customers looking for the shoes she actually sells. Tip 2. Organize by theme. Mary learned to group her ads by themes. She creates different themes for the different types of shoes she sells. For example, she creates an ad campaign around the broad theme of women's boots. She then creates different ads and keywords for rain boots, high fashion boots, and booties. By doing this, Mary reaches the right customers and keeps her account organized. Tip 3. Be specific. Mary wants to promote her sale on men's basketball shoes. If she uses a general keyword like basketball, she could get irrelevant matches of people looking for basketball scores or basketball videos. To promote her sale, she adds discount men's basketball shoes and men's basketball shoes sale. She even includes her sale price in the ad. When using such specific keywords, the more the merrier. Successful advertisers choose 5 to 20 keywords per ad group. Tip 4. Use negative keywords. Negative keywords ensure your ads don't show to the wrong people. Mary doesn't sell children's shoes, so she adds children and kids to her negative keyword list. This way, Mary can be sure she isn't paying for ad clicks on a product she doesn't sell. Tip 5. Use the keyword planner. Think of the keyword planner like a workshop for building new ad campaigns or improving existing ones. Mary uses the keyword planner to come up with new ideas for effective keywords. The keyword planner also helps her estimate the number of clicks she would get for her new keywords. Once Mary adds her keywords, she can check to see how they're performing in the Keywords tab. That way, she can increase her bids on keywords that perform well to help improve her ad's position and get her ad in front of more customers. By following these tips, Mary was able to increase her sales by getting her ads in front of the right customers who clicked on her ads and bought shoes from her site. For more ideas on how to use the right keywords to boost your AdWords success, visit the AdWords Help Center.
All right, let's go through these one by one. So in tip 1, the key is to think like a customer. So what I want you to do is imagine the situation and frame of mind that the customer is in. Sit down and write down all the categories of products or services that you have. Then write down the different keywords that you may use inside of each category. Include variations and synonyms in your keyword list as well. Now tip 2. This tip focuses on creating different themes or sub-themes. Okay? So, campaign to ad group concept. We already showed you this previously. We suggest that you group the campaigns at the highest level by 3 different groupings: brand terms, generic terms, competitor terms. And I'll show you an example of this on the next slide. An example of brand terms are any keywords containing brand name and trademark terms. So an example of Stanford would be keywords like Stanford International, Stanford MBA, Stanford Thailand, etc. Then you have generic terms. These are terms relating to products or services offered. For example, master's degree, MBA program, certificate course. And lastly, you'll have competitors. Every brand has competitors. So competitor terms are the brand names of your competitors who are offering similar products or services. In the case of Stanford, this would include Webster University, NIDA, or SACIT. So again, think about this high-level structure as you put together your campaigns. Here's another example of this concept between brand, generic, competitor model. This is an example of an e-commerce website that sells Nike shoes. So just let you take a look at this. You can see how they put it together. All right, tip 3. It's all about selecting specific keywords. So for example, if you're selling running gear, don't use the keyword running. Instead use running shoes, running for women, running shoes, Nike running shoes, etc. There's a good tool that you can use to find keywords and look at specific suggestions. And it's called search terms. You can use this to build your specific list, and you can actually just type right into Google and they'll recommend. These are the search terms that are most popular that people are using. You can use this to build your list. All right, and then the next tip, tip 4, is around negative keywords. So let me explain what this is. These are keywords that you would not want to be on your list. So for example, let's say you sell tennis lessons. Then add lessons. If you don't sell tennis lessons, then add lessons as the negative keyword. So if you're selling tennis shoes, don't just take tennis, because you may get tennis lessons. And again, you can use the Google keyword recommendation tool to see what people are searching for and add that to your negative key list, as you can see the example that I have here. All right, and the last tip is we want you to use the Google Keyword Planner. So this is a great tool that Google provides to help you build your keyword list. You can enter in search terms and it will recommend others that are related to that search term. So Google will try to give you as many possible keywords to build your campaigns. All right, and you can see here in this example, I put in tennis clothes and it recommended these keywords here. All right, so those are the 5 tips for building your keyword list. In this class, we're just going to give a short introduction to the different keyword match types. In the advanced Google SEM class, we'll cover this, but for now, let's just leave, I'll just present this one slide. Okay, there's 4 main match types. Broad match, all right? And broad match, okay, this is any keyword that you've selected and the keyword shows up anywhere, then the ad will play. This is the most broad and will perform the worst, but it's needed to identify all the search terms and then refine and optimize. Then you have broad match modifier, the next run here. This is the most popular as it gives you great insights and includes many searches, as it will play your ad when any combination of the words are selected. Right, so for example, women's or hats, if those keywords are in there, it'll show up. Your ad will show up. The next is phrase match. This is more targeted, as our ad will only show when the phrase is searched. So for example, if you buy the keyword women's hat, and the keywords buy women's hat is searched, then your ad will show up. And the last is exact match. Okay, this will always perform the best, as it's the exact keyword the user searched. And the key really is to find the best exact match keywords and buy 100% share of the impressions. What I recommend is that you put the best performing exact matches in one campaign, so you can buy 100% of the top performing exact match keywords. So again, for this, women's hat has to come out exactly as women's hat. Right, so these are the different ways, match types. Okay, so this brings us now to the end of this module concept, and now it's time for each student to complete this short activity. So using the same spreadsheet as the last module, I want you to develop your keyword list. And again, also use Stanford University as the example, okay? Add them to the same spreadsheet in this column here. So last exercise you did campaign and ad groups. Now let's add specific keywords there, all right? This would be a great exercise for you to practice. Once you're done, please upload it back into Blackboard and we'll review it in the weekly tutorial. Best of luck. All right, now let's get started with the next module concept. And in this module, we're going to take a look at the search ad copy best practices. So now you've learned everything about campaigns, ad groups, keywords. Now it's time to write your ad copy. Let's get started. Okay, so what I'm going to show you here is a very popular ad unit. It's known as the expanded text ad. Google launched this ad unit about 1 to 2 years ago. And it gives the advertiser much more space. As you can see, the ad here is very big. The key is to use as much space as possible. All right, but let me take you through each element of the ad itself. So the first one is the headline, headline 1. You have up to 30 characters. And the key here is that you should have the keyword that the person types. So here's Singapore Management University MBA. You have Singapore University MBA. Okay. So you want to have the keywords in there in the title. The second is then the second headline, headline 2. Again, also 30 characters. This is where you want to highlight the product or service. Right? And then you have all of this description. For this, you have a total of 80 characters. So again, think like your customer and what they would want. What I recommend is you do things like explain the key benefit of what your customer gets. Have a strong call to action because you want them to take some action. So put the call to action in there. Create a sense of urgency. Sales terms if it exists. Okay, so they understand your offer. And what you want them to do when they visit the site. Could be fill in a form, register, etc. Right, so those are the headlines. Now you have all of this space down below. These are known as ad extensions. So what you should do is add as many ad extensions as possible. And I'll show you on the next slide examples of those. But site links, call out extensions, structured snippets, and so on. All right, and let's review those on the next slide. Okay. So these are all of the different ad extensions that are available through the Google Search Platform. I suggest you try all of them, but in my opinion, the most important are the first 3. Right? Site link extensions. Right? This is where you can basically show links that lead to specific sections of your site. Like we showed you in the previous slide here. These are all site link extensions. It leads to direct sections on your site. Get to put additional descriptions. Be very, very useful. The next are call out extensions. Okay, these are nice because it allows you to put a little bit extra text in there and put key things like free shipping as an example. And then the last one are structured snippet extensions. This allows you to highlight specific aspects of your product or service even further. All right? There's many, many more here. Try all of them, but these first 3 are the most important. So this brings us now to the end of this concept. Again, we introduced how to create great search text ad copy. I want you to practice doing this. So please create your own ad copy, and you can use this template. So I put this link here. Please click on this link, and it goes in and allows you to create ads. I want you to take a screenshot of your ads and then put them into the PowerPoint, and then upload it into this into Blackboard for this module assignment. All right, so have fun with this, play around with it. It's a great tool, but it's a good way to get you practicing building ads. Best of luck. And the last module concept here, I want to introduce you to the actual Google Ads platform. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to show you how to log in and how to create campaign in an ad group. So welcome. Now I'm going to show you how to use the Google Ads platform. It's going to be a brief introduction, but after you set up your account and log in, you'll come to this Google Ads page. This is the main Google Ads interface where you can create campaigns. And you see down here on the left-hand side, you have campaign, ad groups, ads, landing page, keywords, audiences, demographics, settings. This is everything that you would need to basically create your campaign. So this is for a website called Cancer Coach. And we have some campaigns set up already. But what I want to do is I want to create a brand campaign. So essentially using the keywords Cancer Coach. So I'm going to come here and create a new campaign. I click campaign, click new campaign. So you see here you have many options: sales, leads, web traffic, product brand consideration, brand awareness, app promotion. So essentially everything that you can do within Google Ads platform is here. Okay, they combine search, YouTube, etc. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do leads. And then you see once I do that, you can do search, display, shopping, video, which is YouTube, smart ads, and content discovery. So again, we're going to focus now just on search. So I'm going to click on search, and I'm going to set my objective here. In this case, I want to get website visits, and I'm going to put in the name of the website, cancercoach.co. And then I'll click continue. Okay. So after you do that, now you're coming down, again, you're still in the campaign level, and this is where you're going to set all of your targeting, if you remember. So the campaign name, I'm going to put brand. It's a brand campaign, focusing on the name of the brand. Again, I don't care about display. All I want is the search network, and I just want to focus on Google search. I don't want the Google partners. Great. Now locations, so all countries and territories. Now for this one, I just want to focus on Thailand. So I'm going to do Thailand there, but I want to have a little bit more targeted. So I'm going to do enter another location, advanced search, and this is where I can actually choose Bangkok. So I'm going to come here, I'm just going to type Bangkok. All right, and you can see here it selects Bangkok. And I'm just going to save that. Now, that's my location targeting. Next is language. For this I want English and Thai. I'm going to just leave them both there. Now the language is based upon the browser setting, what people have set in their browser. A lot of Thais will set English as their browser or Thai. So if I want to get everyone in Thailand, I'm going to include both English and Thai. All right. Next then we have the budget. I'm just going to set a budget, and what they ask for is a daily budget. That's the way it works. So I'm going to set 500 baht a day. Then for the bidding, again, this is what it's optimizing towards: conversions, clicks. I'm just going to leave it as conversions because that's the goal. I want people to come in and then fill in a form. All right. Now, add extensions, site link, call out. These are all the different types of ad extensions that I can do. And they have a really cool feature here where if you put in your website, you'll see it'll pick up your menu. No obligation phone call, our services, our team. So I'm basically going to select all of them. And I'm going to now save and continue. So that's the campaign level. Now you see it comes to ad group. Now it's asking for your ad group. So again, I'm just going to have one keyword, brand name, brand is the name of the ad group, and enter, paste your keywords. This is where you put in the keywords. I'm just going to put in Cancer Coach. I'll spell it a bunch of different ways. Cancer Coach with no space, Cancer Coach with space, cancercoach.co, which is the name of the website. I'm going to do all of those. Save and continue. So you see how you've done ad group and you put the keywords right inside there. All right, now it's time to build the ad. So for the ad, again, you have 3 headlines, 2 descriptions, and then for the headlines, what I like to do is I like to leave open my content that I want to run. And here we go. So headline 1, I'm going to do personalized cancer coaching. And I have 28 of 30, so I'm fine there. Headline 2 is get a second opinion. And then I'll go and I'll come and I'll paste that in. Headline 3, keep fighting and don't give up. And I'll come and I'll paste that in. So I have all 3 of my headlines there. Now I want to do my descriptions. And I got my description here. This is where you're allowed up to 90. So paste that in. And description 2. And I'll paste that in. And there you go. Done, and create the next ad. Okay. So, yep, this is the URL, the funnel URL, cancercoach.co. It's giving me an error there. Let me see to ensure. Right. No problem. Save and continue. Now I can review the ad. It's not running yet. That's fine. And I'm going to basically close this out now. And then you'll be able to see essentially Cancer Coach is right there. All right. So that's how it works. Now you know how to set up your campaign, ad group, keywords, and your ads. That's a short introduction to Google Ads platform and how to set up search campaign. Thank you so much. Hope you enjoyed. Thanks so much for participating in this session. I hope you learned a lot. Hope you learned how to create the core campaign, ad group, keyword, and ad copy for Google search ads. Thanks a lot, and I'll see you in this week's tutorial.